I just wanted to show you guys how I prepare for my NRL22 stages, and this is usually the first step that I do. So on the website, you can go on there and download the course of fire for the month. And I go ahead and I print those out and I scale them down to about 40 to 30%. I believe this is 35% scale. And so typically there's going to be your 4 stages or 5 stages, sorry. And I print these out. And then I go on to staples.com and I upload the DFT training sheet to print there. The reason I have Staples print it is because they just have really nice printers, way better than I have at my house. And this only cost me 80 cents to print. And if you guys haven't looked into the DFAT training system, I highly recommend it. It's been really helpful for me. It is a little bit of an investment, but I think it's worth it. So I get these printed off and I keep them for practice. What I end up doing with these is I just have a document cutter, but you can use scissors or whatever. And then I have these self-laminating pouches, or if you have access to just a regular sheet laminator. The reason I like to put them in here is because it rains pretty often where I live, and so by protecting these sheets, they don't get wet at the range when I'm trying to reference them or anything like that, or just throwing them around in my bag. They don't get all crumpled up. And the other thing I like to do is, once I put these inside the laminating sheet, I can use my dry erase markers and make notes, write my dope, wind corrections, things like that. I can write down what pieces of equipment, like what bags I'm going to use and stuff like that, just to help prepare me for that stage. And so I feel like it just helps me get in the right mindset and get everything organized. I am a newer competitor this season, and this has been one thing that's really helped me understand and help memorize what the stages are. When I first started, I had a really hard time understanding, not understanding, but just remembering the course of fire structure. So near to far, small to large, things like that. Like, it was just so much information, I felt like. But having it printed off and having something that I can just reference throughout the time while I'm staging has really helped. All right. So I just sort these out, get them in here. So I figured out that at this sizing, I can fit 6 pieces of paper in here, and there will always be this empty spot in the corner or however you're doing it. So I like to take just a regular blank piece and stick it in there, and this is where I'm going to write down my dope for the day. So when I get there and I do my zeroing, and I always bring my chronograph and I just set it up and check everything, and then I recheck the dope in the calculator to see what it is. And then I'll go through the stages, figure out what yardages that I need. I'll write those down right here, and then I can put the elevation corrections there. And so I'm not having to deal with that every time I go to a stage. And then I can transfer that onto my turret tapes, which I did a video on as well. And those really help me dial a lot faster. So those are just some things that I do personally that I think help and to get myself prepared for the matches. If you guys have other suggestions of things that you do, drop it in the comments. Like I said, I'm a newer competitor and I'd love to hear what you guys do to prepare. But this is kind of what I'm running off of right now. Anyways, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you next time.